What did the popular kid at your school do to go from cool to an absolute outcast? He got a bad haircut, was teased for it and threw a temper tantrum. He literally stormed out in the middle of class. He lost his spot as king bully after that. Semi-popular, kinda preppy kid. Tried to kill his parents by pouring vodka around their bed at night and setting it on fire because they took his CDs away. Tried is the key word here. Liquor doesn't burn that well. He got with me. For real. He was the most popular and I was the most unpopular. He was still always popular but less so after that. Now we've been together for 10.5 years and married for a little over 8. Joined a gang. Moved up the ranks. Ordered the firebombing of a rival gang member's house. Dude wasn't home but his 4 little brothers and sisters were. None of them made it out of the house. He'll be in federal lockup until the day he dies. Man, that's fricked up. She was pretty and fairly popular and near the end of the school year told everyone she had cancer. We were approaching the end of grade 7 at the time. Eventually literally everyone knew. Teachers, other parents, other grades, etc. And it kind of united everyone who weren't typically friends and that was kind of cool. Until one day, maybe a week or 2 in, a pair of girlfriends go to visit her at her parents' house and they bring it up and discover it was a hoax. She pee off a lot of people and lost all her friends after that. Gained new ones eventually, but what a goddamn weird thing to lie about. Known party girl at my school was texting while driving. She hit and killed someone crossing the street. Her father was a SGT in the police department. She went to jail for 6 months and then had to do probation community service. Not quite sure what happened after the fact. She deleted everything tied to her. This was 2 days after high school graduation. We just had something similar happen here. Girl is high and runs a stop sign plowing into a family of 4. Killed the dad. Mommy is a sheriff. She was just sentenced today and got 15 weeks. There was a girl that was the popular girl in school. She had all the friends and even put out an album. She was a total star locally. One day we were taking standardized tests and she runs out of the room and doesn't return. When we left the class there was green diarrhea all over the floor just down the hall from the classroom. Poor girl didn't make it to the bathroom in time. She didn't return to school that school year and moved to another town school completely after that. She married a famous NFL player and is one of these Instagram PPL now, so she bounced back from a crappy situation pretty well. Guy got accused of physical violation at a party and nobody believed the girl, and people spread vicious rumors about her and sided with him. The whole thing seemed like everyone viewed him as a victim, and he played himself up that way, until, a few months later, another girl said she had been violated by him at a party, and multiple other people at the party saw her hysterically crying and bruised afterwards. There were not so many people supporting him after that. I got away with it once. I'm sure I can do it again. Hope the girls are okay. That's horrible to hear. He got drunk and finger banged a sheep at an outdoor party. He spent the next 3 years as the sheep sucker. You build hundreds of bridges throughout your life, and nobody calls you a bridge builder, but you frick one goat. Graduated high school. He turned into that 30-year-old dude that still hasn't gotten over high school. She was hired to dog sit for a neighbor when they went out of town. She decided to take advantage of the empty house and throw a party at the neighbor's house that got out of hand. Neighbor's daughter also went to the school and had to deal with a messed up house. Pretty big deal, and the popular girl never came back. Crack. He and his couple friends started smoking crack senior year of high school. They got quarantined to themselves. Ran into one of them a couple weeks ago. He kept trying to get me back to their apartment to do well, at least he's off the crack. Wholesome for once, I guess. All popular kids in my school were complete dickheads that bullied others. This fella, king of the hill, starts dating a girl from another school that was friends with one of the bullied kids. The kid told the girl what her boyfriend does in THT school, so the girl threatened to break up with him if he didn't change his ways. He stopped socializing with the cool folks and started getting bullied by them, and none of the other kids wanted to warm up to him. He was a loner at school, but he made his GF happy and he was happy. That makes me happy. He stood for what mattered most to him and it made him a better man. Accidentally left a video of himself sticking stuff up his butt on a phone that he sold to another student. I never saw him again after that. Plot twist, he was just trying to hook a brother up and it backfired. He was popular because he was a rebel that talked back to teachers and insulted them openly. He became an outcast because he made the teacher everyone loved cry. I had a guy in my class do this recently. Nobody really talks to him anymore. Killed an infant in a car accident. Completely shut down during senior year. Wouldn't talk to anybody anymore. Ugh, Jesus. That sounds like one of those situations which ends horribly for every single person involved. Blah. I remember in middle school the popular kid asked out the most unpopular girl and then embarrassed her in front of everybody by breaking up with her and laughing in her face about how she could think it was real. It was really sad, and I remember her being really into high school TV shows, and I think she really wanted to be popular. Like she hoped life would be like a Disney show or something. IDK what happened to him, but I remember everyone kind of being like, dude. And he moved a bit later. In high school the popular kids weren't necessarily bullies. They weren't super welcoming into their circle to invite everyone to parties and stuff, but they weren't total bullies. At least that I know of. They were just good at sports and attractive pretty much. Got hit by a train. Everyone cared about him until he got out of the hospital and wasn't the same mentally. From head trauma. All the other popular kids mock him and have him blocked on social media to this day. Got an 8th grade girl pregnant while he was a junior in high school. He eventually transferred out because everyone hated him so much. For those not in America, that's at least a 4-year age gap. 17-year-old knocking up a 13-year-old. Well, everyone else grew up. He didn't, and doesn't seem to want to. Now it's everyone else's fault 10 years later. Ugh, this is the path my brother is going down. My mother fears that he will be 30 with no education, skills, or job. The kid just has no work ethic in him. It was easy for him to cruise through high school since literally it is almost impossible to fail, but when college came he got kicked out one semester in and now just does nothing. Most popular kid in my middle school was this big Samoan dude. Looked like he was 13 going on 25 years old. I remember he gained a lot of popularity when he serenaded this girl in class to ask her to the dance. He had music playing on his iPhone and he started belting out love songs while on bended knee. Later on that year he went from hero to zero when we found out he'd been molesting his sister. 0-100 real frickin' quick. He got drunk and killed a family of 4 in a car accident. Well, the popular girl at my school tried to ruin the life of a really sweet girl because of boyfriend drama. When she realized people were standing up for the sweet girl instead, she lost her mind, accusing the other girl and her boyfriend of property damage, turning on anyone who didn't swear loyalty to her, turning people against one another, screaming at teachers. It was a mess. The nail in the coffin was when she confided to me and 2 others that she was planning to put laxatives in the pastries she baked for the class. Obviously I'll let people know, and she became completely ostracized. She left at the end of junior year, and senior year was the most chill year ever. I don't blame you for letting people know. You can't let that crap slide. She tried to manipulate all her friends and pit them against each other with a bunch of catty lies. Well, that in combination with wearing her pageant sash and crown to school for like a week. All girls school. Guy got caught with a bunch of H in the trunk of his car on school grounds and was over 18 as a senior. Never saw or heard about him after that, but I'm guessing it didn't go well for him. Sent his girlfriend's naked pics to the whole school. Whoa, what a scumbag. Graduated. Turns out, some learned the hard way that adulthood is not the same as high school. That's blunt and true. This kid in middle school used to talk crap to everyone. He had nice stuff his parents got him and everyone thought he was tough and could fight until one day he started on a special needs kid. Nobody had ever actually seen the popular kid fight. He just was excellent at intimidation. Now a lot of the special needs kids in my area weren't just students who were mentally challenged, but had overall learning disabilities. Many of those kids came from very tough homes and the special needs kid who the popular kid messed with was an absolute savage. He grew up in a pretty tough part of town but was really a gentle giant. He could play football. He was muscular. He could do everything the regular students could do except speak properly. A minor speech impediment. The popular kid challenged him to a one-on-one fight and got his butt kicked by the special needs kid. I'm talking blood everywhere. His clothes got ripped, one of his sneakers landed like 10 feet away, and to top it all off he even tried running away after the first few punches. The special needs kid grabbed him and pulled him back. It was a massacre. The popular kid not only lost all of his influence but didn't even have the guts to come back to school for like a week. If I ever saw instant karma it would have been on this day because he was quiet as a mouse the rest of the years through high school. There was a popular cheerleader at my school that was in a bad car wreck and she suffered severe brain damage. The day she came back some of her friends, aka the popular kids, sat with her at lunch. Every day after that though, they sat on the other side of the cafeteria in their normal spot and she was with the other special needs students. They would walk past her without saying a word. As far as everyone knew, her entire group of friends completely abandoned her. I don't think she missed them though, so silver lining. She seemed to be very happy most of the time after the accident, not so much before. This was in the mid-late 80s, and every teen movie with a bunch of crappy preppies pretty much accurately depicts the popular kids in my HS. I killed 2 university students while drunk driving and then complained because she wouldn't be able to go to the bar and get drunk on her 18th birthday. Best answer to this happens between elementary and middle school. Our elementary was small, and we fed into a middle school with a much bigger school. Think 20% us, and 80% them. Most popular kids showed up on the first day, after only knowing what it's like to be the coolest kid in the small school, and tried to start crap with some random kid, who was with 11 of his friends, to show how cool and top dog he was to everyone I guess. Yeah, those 12 guys beat him up, and then made fun of him for years. He wasn't cool anymore, just that fast. By high school nobody cared anymore, but he was never really popular again. This sounds like how every inside prison documentary goes down. He hooked up with 2 of his friends' girlfriends. They ditched him after that. We had a guy like this in our frat. He would always try to sleep with everyone's girlfriends. Everyone just started ignoring him because of it. Some guy got mad when he was drunk texting the guy's girlfriend when everyone was at a party and the guy beat his butt in front of everyone. He dropped after that. Our star football player lost his full-ride football scholarship to LSU after beating his girlfriend into a coma. It's been like 8 years, but if memory serves correctly he didn't end up going to prison or juvie because they lacked sufficient evidence. He eventually got expelled from our school because it had a zero-tolerance policy for fighting and one of his girlfriend's friends called him out for beating her while in the hallway. He didn't like being confronted and tried to beat the crap out of the guy calling him out. My school doesn't really have popular people. Everyone just kinda has their friends. Some people have more than others but it's not like a social hierarchy. However, this one girl did something that, rightfully, destroyed her reputation. So basically this girl that was pretty well liked asked out this boy that no one ever expected her to ask out. It was unexpected because he was less well known, but in general everyone liked him. They had a cute relationship for about 2 months. He started sitting with her friends at lunch and was becoming closer with them. Well, one of the girl's friends found out she was cheating on him. She told the boy and her friends and he was really upset about it. When the girl found out people knew the truth she said she was only dating him for answers on homework and that she never actually liked him. Once it got around no one really looked at her the same. She tried to talk crap about him and the friend that exposed her a few times but she was either ignored or totally shut down. This year she's not at our school and no one misses her. There was a guy that was pretty popular. He got really drunk at a party and totally didn't know where he was. He pulled down his pants, squatted and totally started to poop. He moved away immediately. He was a senior and I was in 8th grade. That was well over 25 years ago. Well, he friended me on Facebook a couple months ago and I kinda recognized him. I racked my brain and it came to me. The guy who pooped at the party. Poor guy. Strangled a girl to death. That'd do it. Call other girls yes because those girls were trying to tell her that her boyfriend was cheating on her, and they were right. Girl in my middle school was really popular, but she was also super nice. I was a total outcast with a lot of problems, but she was the only person who ever treated me like a normal human being. She came out as LGBTQ and got bullied so badly she had to move schools. He got caught cheating on an econ final his senior year, and instead of taking responsibility he dragged 3 other people down with him who had apparently also cheated. All 4 got in trouble, only that dude lost all his friends. That popularity fricked with their mind and that made them lose sight of their grades. They barely graduated. Got blamed for a drive-by. Basically, was a star track and field sprinter and jumper as well as football player. A nice guy too, a rather typical jock type, but he got along well with virtually everyone. He was definitely popular because he was extremely athletically talented though. He took the fall for a murder he didn't commit. Almost everyone knew he was innocent. He was not a violent individual, just tied up with the wrong crowd at the wrong time. He's gonna spend most his natural life behind bars now. A true shame. He had a bright future, and now he's a physically literal outcast from society, albeit not deserving. She got cancer. She was a popular cheerleader and ran with the cool kids. Then she got cancer and her hair fell out from chemo and radiation treatments. The cool kids shunned her when she got sick. She beat cancer and is now a pediatrician somewhere. I hope she is living life to the fullest and enjoying every bit of it now. Somebody catfished him and was a short vid of him naked that went to a lot of people that most of us saw. Kinda felt bad for him but remembered he's in butthole. Someone catfished the popular guy at my school and got him to do this crazy Rick Sting roleplay where one of them was a gazelle and the other was a lion eating the gazelle. It was really graphic, but not in the way you would think. Drove drunk, ran a red light and T-boned a car making the person a vegetable. He ended up going to UVA, and then got into oxycontin when he got out. He died of an overdose a few years after we graduated. He spilled some of the soapy water stuff from the bucket that holds the mop onto the floor, and the chill teacher that didn't care about whether you played games in class or not tripped and broke his right arm. Grugs, you're the cool kid in 9th grade if you're smoking all the time. You're not the cool kid in 12th grade if you're addicted to H. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.